Ahoy! Are Amazon games viewbotting their own videos? Or at least this specific trailer video for New World Aeternum. According to this post from Randrogynous, who frequently posts on the New World Reddit, they are. This is a post on MMORPG, so this is actually a significantly bigger subreddit and it got over 400 upvotes, so it was quite popular on that subreddit when it was posted 18 hours ago. And this post details why it seems that this trailer has been viewbotted, and I'd like to look into that. I want to show you the different aspects of evidence that are shown here, and then also talk about some more things that may or may not change your mind. So beginning with the post, it's being explained how the whole trailer came to be and everything. Most of us know that already. And then what's really the relevant part of us is the official New World YouTube channel hosted the trailer, and the first couple days after its upload it seemed to achieve reasonable view counts, roughly 3 to 5 times higher than a typical developer update video, which might make sense given the resources spent promoting the announcement leading up to Summer Games Fest, along with their marketing efforts that weekend. However, a week and a half later, on June 18th, something weird started happening with the trailer's view count. Here's a graph of the current stats. So this is from viewstats.com. And we can see that initially we have relatively low views that kind of just, flatten out here. And then there's the sudden spike here after 9-10 days. It just goes up. And we have a total of over 1 million views here. So the videos suddenly jumped from a stable 30,000 views to 170,000 in one day. The next day it reached 400,000, then 850,000, now it's at 1.3 million. There has been no major ad buy or marketing push that corresponds to June 18th, and there has not seemed to be any organic buzz around the title that would generate a viral growth rate like this. For example, you would expect a video that surged in popularity would have some level of engagement to go along with the views. Instead, the video has only received 12 comments since June 18th. Looking at this here, we can see these are the most recent comments, and then there's a comment from 18 hours ago, and the next, or like two down from the next one is already 2 days ago. So there's clearly not many comments coming in, and arguably the comments here are also not exactly big fans, as most of the comments on the video are not. You can see from the downvotes here as well. Clearly not very popular at all, based on how they treated us, the existing player base. We've talked about that plenty. What we want to talk about here is the viewbotting accusations. There's also a further point being made here. Also, the huge increase in views was specific to that one trailer video. It did not result in any increase to the dev update video that was released alongside the trailer on June 7th, and it did not seem to generate additional likes, dislikes, or subscribers to the channel. And we can see here, with the subscriber count, that's not really changing. We have the views that are going up. But yeah, it's this very big spikes down here, really, and everything else kind of staying the same. So next, Randrogynous then opened up a real-time view monitor for the video to see what it looked like, and there is this graph that has these jitters in it, and the jitters here basically meaning that the views are temporarily going up and then it looks like they're dropping again. So according to the view tracker website's description, it posts the official YouTube API every 2 seconds for view count updates. I was curious about whether this graph looked normal, and the answer is no. Organically popular videos do not show such sudden frequent spikes over the course of a 2-second update. More importantly, those view count spikes that appear and then drop back down are a telltale sign of YouTube's fight against viewbotting. When YouTube bans an account for viewbotting, the views it generated get deleted from YouTube's view count. So yeah, all of this leads me to suspect that Amazon Games has been behind an attempt to officially inflate the view count of its New World Aeternum trailer. As an additional layer of hilarity, the devs were accused of using bots to artificially promote the game on Reddit several years ago, which was mildly mocked because of how obvious the attempt was. For some reason, the bots or paid promoters consistently used the phrase "feels good different." The devs have denied the attempt, releasing this statement, and we have the statement where they deny that. Not really relevant here. We're going to focus on this particular example where we can actually look into it further, talk about further. Before we do that, a quick reminder: if you're enjoying the video so far, consider subscribing and clicking the bell. I want to address two aspects here. On one hand, is this particular video being viewbotted? And on the other hand, is there any history with Amazon and viewbotting that could otherwise be verified? And when it comes to this particular video, I do not believe that this is being viewbotted. I think the answer is much, much simpler than that. Rather than being viewbotted, I think almost all of what we're seeing here can be explained by one simple thing. They're using the trailer as an ad on YouTube. This spike is exactly the behavior that you would see for a trailer if you're doing that. You decide to push this out to a specific audience, you select the audience on YouTube beforehand that you want to reach, so it's probably be something where they specifically want to reach console gamers, so you're unlikely to see this ad on a PC. You'd maybe see it on a phone, and you'd probably not see it if you're someone who actively looks at New World content on your YouTube account. It would have to be an account that maybe looks at console games or maybe at action RPGs or something that they're trying to advertise to. We don't have the data on what they're aiming at, but that would explain this very sudden spike. And it would also explain why it's not going up immediately. Because when you advertise on YouTube, it basically destroys organic discovery for that video. What that means is, if you want to have views that come in over time gradually just by people finding your video, then you don't want to run it as an ad, because the moment you do that, the video is going to be very, very hard to discover through the normal way, because obviously YouTube wants to make money from you, the people that are trying to advertise their video, and pushes it to the people that's being advertised to, and not so much to non-paying people at that point. Not directly paying, but you get the idea. So this in itself is expected behavior. And this is essentially just a trailer going in front of another video as an ad, just a video ad break. I could just do the same thing on my own video here. I would have an ad before my video that plays, and this would be the trailer instead. And that also explains the second part here, which is the engagement. As Randrogynous correctly found, there isn't really any engagement going on, and that's because you're not going to engage with an ad. If I write a comment under this, it's going under my video and not under the ads video, which is possibly hidden somewhere anyways. You can specifically look up these ads sometimes, or the videos that are being advertised. Sometimes that's possible, sometimes you can't even reach that video at all, because it's just an unlisted video that's used separately, which New World could have done. They could have not used the official trailer, but instead they could have uploaded the same video unlisted just specifically for the purpose of advertising it. They did not do that, but they also don't have to. But like, if I was to click on anything in this video and say learn more, it would just get me to the side of the advertiser and not to the video that was uploaded. So obviously there's not going to be much of an increase in interaction with the video, since the people aren't really on the video when they're watching it. Now, it is likely not every view is actually counted as a view when it comes to watching the ad. Just to be aware, there are certain rules in place. This is from the Google support page about that. For example, every interaction that leads the viewer watching for 30 seconds counts as an ad view, or someone watching the entirety of a video counts as an ad view. So basically whichever comes first, or somebody clicking on an item, like an interactable element in an ad, also counts as an ad view. And as such, it's possible that the total number of people the video has been pushed through and that have actually seen a part of it is higher if they are able to skip the video. But still, you'll have some people that end up watching the whole video, especially if you have someone watching it at the end of a YouTube video. Some people just, scroll down to the comments and leave the ad running. And you will have some people that are also just simply interested in the ad and will watch it. So yeah, you get these potentially somewhat different results in total views between what is reflected in the view count that we see here. But I'm also not entirely sure how that works. I've never advertised a video myself, so there might be specific rules for that in place. But with how it works, it makes very little sense for New World to be viewbotting, because the result is effectively the same as if they were advertising it anyways. Like, you're just getting more views in one way or another. And in this case, you may be paying more, but you actually also get some eyes on that video rather than just bots. So you're gonna probably profit more from that because you're actually advertising a product. And also, again, for discovery, this view increase will likely not be helpful because, again, this kind of hinders the natural form of discovery on videos. And that's also why we're not seeing any major transition over to other New World videos. As for these weird spikes that we're seeing here, I was trying to see if I could replicate that, and I was able to. Now the thing is, I don't know how exactly livecounts.io measures this or how these spikes might happen. This could just be an issue with how they read the API. What I do know is, because one of my videos was viewbotted at a point in the past, that's typically not how the views are being corrected by YouTube, but rather they will have a bulk deletion of views going on, like the video will grow and grow over days or even weeks, and then suddenly there's a massive drop in views because they are deleting all the bot views. This like correction within a second seems very unlikely to me, and I think it's much more likely that it's just an error with this particular site that just doesn't work well with the information that it gets from a video that's being advertised. It might have something to do with the 30-second rule. I have no other videos that I compare it to that have advertised budget on the platform right now, so can't know for sure, but I wouldn't take this as a very strong indicator of anything. So in conclusion, while it isn't impossible that they viewbotted their video, I think it's very, very unlikely. It's much more likely that this is them advertising the video. That said, New World did not discourage embedded streams on Twitch in the past, which is something that some argue is viewbotting as well. It is worth noting that at the time, Amazon didn't really have a decision on that, so Twitch didn't have a problem with people embedding. They didn't consider that viewbotting, and they actually gave clear instructions on how to do it and basically encouraged it. So yeah, it's not really something where New World was in the wrong for it, but more so that the rules were maybe just not that good, and maybe the backlash that happened in New World scene in particular may have contributed to the rule changes as well to that. So yeah, a bit of an unclear one there, but it was something that they at least tolerated for a while, and they worked with streamers that were embedding on different platforms, so they didn't have a major problem with that. But again, you'd have to open the whole debate of if that is viewbotting in the first place, because it's technically real viewers, they're just not really watching the video, and blah blah blah. It's a whole kind of worms, but I figured it's worth bringing up here in this context because it kind of plays a bit into the same niche, I would say, of what are real views, what are not, and how should we evaluate any of that. I hope that clears things up a little bit. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and clicking the bell if you want to get updated about more New World stuff, as well as probably some Tyrus Land in the next days. Need to clear things up there as well. If you'd like to support me further, you can do so on my Patreon. Thanks to all of my patrons who already do exactly that and get early trading tips in return. Thank you for watching. SLOTH out.